Welcome back to the Simon Akers Group sofa. Today, Simon is joined by a true icon of the KBB world and a cherished friend of both our brand and Simon himself. You may remember him as a standout guest from the very first season of our Industry Legends series. Please welcome the founder of Anglia Interiors, a proud KBSA advocate and an undeniable industry legend, Mr. Peter Bird.
Hi everybody, I've got the amazing founder of Anglia Interiors, Mr. Peter Bird here today, who I'm going to tell everybody is 84 years of age and still attending the showroom and still talking to customers and still doing it in KBB. So Pete, can I ask you, 40 years ago, what did an apprentice look like in kitchens?
Well, I'd have to go back 65 years, wouldn't I, really?
Good grief.
In kitchen, I wasn't in kitchens, but it was the wholesale and distributive trades.
Right.
Which was meant anything to do with building work, I suppose, and the materials for building.
Okay.
It was a 4-year apprenticeship. My starting salary was £3 a week. My mum took £2. The idea was the salary went up £1 every year for 4 years.
This is general construction.
It was part components like electrical department, plumbing department.
So electrics, plumbing, which included potentially kitchens and bathrooms?
Not in those days, because nobody bought them, did they?
Okay, right.
I'm talking about 1950 something.
Right.
58, 59, 60.
Okay.
Very lonely period. But it was very good because obviously I think the attitude of people such as me, not me, but others as well, it wasn't all about how much do I earn. Right. It's how much can I learn.
Right, okay.
Rather than earn.
Yes.
I mean, I worked for a man in goods inwards at that first job, who was earning £12 a week, and I was getting £3.
Yeah,
it didn't make me angry because I was doing the same job as him. I got £9 a week less because he was a man.
You were grateful for the opportunity to learn. That's what you're saying.
An apprenticeship then was quite sought after. Yeah, I'd been to grammar school and wasted a year. Right. I wanted to get a job, so I got a job and I got an apprenticeship, and I was there for 4 years. Yeah. Some of us along the road, we got if we were regarded as being particularly good at our jobs, or put extra effort in, we got an extra £1 a week. Right. I actually got that.
A merit bonus.
A merit bonus, in other words, where I'd have been earning £3 a week, I earned £4. Yeah. And it was very good training. There was probably about 15 apprentices working at the same company in different departments at the same time. And I can recall, not now because I'm too old, but say at least 10 of those people went on to do good things in big companies or had their own businesses. Yeah. So it was obviously a very good grounding for your future in those days.
So what advice would you give someone who's thinking about going to university or they're thinking about an apprenticeship, but they say, do you know what, apprenticeship sounds a bit down market? What would you say, Pete?
Well, it wasn't down market in the late 50s. It was for leaving school. I wouldn't say it was as good as getting a degree, but you had to be 16 then before you could even take GCEs to even consider going to university. So
but do we need more tradespeople now?
Well, of course we do. Everybody complains about lack of good people.
It's got to be a good thing, hasn't it?
It's got to be a good thing. But you've got to whether people today can treat it as a future or whether it's only a present.
Right.
I mean, I don't think there'd be many people that would say no knowingly want to earn £3 a week when somebody they're working with and doing the same job is getting 12.
But take your point though, if someone's willing to give you the experience to learn from to earn that in the future, that's a good thing.
Well, it's up to you because obviously 4 years of your life is not that long when you're 16 upwards, 16 to 20, because you've got a social life which probably is just as big as your working life. Yeah. But it does mould you or can mould you to have some sort of future outside the genius of this world. Yeah. We need all the physicists we can get. We need all the chemists we can get. Yeah. Do we need as many media graduates as we get? Or, what I call sideways jobs, where at the end of it, you can have a nice degree, but there's no jobs.
And then last question, Pete, you know how important a kitchen and a bathroom installer is in the market. So how should we, attract kitchen and bathroom installers, and how do you retain those people?
Difficult question to answer. Obviously, it has to be accepted as a lower cost entry level job. Although is it? Because if you stack shelves in Sainsbury's, you probably wouldn't earn as much money as the basic wages now as an apprenticeship. The problem why apprenticeships disappeared in the first place was generally that people had the apprenticeship, when they became qualified and would then become some use to their employer, somebody offered them £50 a day more money, and they cleared off.
Right.
So gradually, people that were giving apprenticeships just stopped doing it. Because
but how do we retain a kitchen and bathroom installer? How do you keep them working with you? What's the solutions?
So there's a clear one. I mean, it all depends on the actual person they're working for. Earning enough, selling enough kitchens to keep the fitters involved.
Right.
In our business, my son, who runs it now, considers that keeping the fitters in work is a prime concern for why you're running your business.
Right.
When and if better times come back, he will employ more fitters. But he's kept 2 fully employed now for many, many years.
But how's he kept them for many, many years? How's he done that?
Well, we certainly never paid, when I was running it, we never paid the top wages. We just paid consistently. And nobody ever got robbed. Nobody was, we were lucky that a guy called Andy Wright, who is now in his early 60s, came to us when he was 18, when we actually opened up a carcass manufacturing side of our business, which was one of my mistakes in life. But he's been with us ever since that, and he's one of the most skillful men I've ever seen. But he learnt on the job.
Right.
So how he learnt...
So you gave him that initial opportunity,
He'd already been tinkering before he came to us. There's a story to that I'll tell you another time, because it's not really relevant. And Grant, who is now early 40s, worked with his uncle, who was one of our fitters for 15 years. And the 2 of them worked as one team. I never used to pay them more money because there was 2 people working in the kitchen. To my mind, the customer is paying to have the kitchen fitted. Whether there's 1 man or 4, it doesn't cost any more. We only got to the point where Grant wanted more of the pick that obviously his uncle was getting, and he got to 60 odd and decided he'd retire, which left Grant in the driving seat.
Well, that's a good lead-in.
But that's self-employment.
That's self-employment.
On his case.
So final word, Pete, so to the camera. So if someone's watching and think, do you know what, I just can't find a kitchen fitter, what advice can you give someone? Where do you find a good kitchen fitter?
Again, I can't answer that because I don't know. In my opinion, there's far too many people who are carpenters who, given the opportunity, would claim they are kitchen fitters. I use an analogy in the showroom when I talk to people. I often compare myself to the customer, the male customer I'm referring to. So the reason I'm saying a kitchen fitter is a little bit unique is because if you and I are both equally skilled carpenters, and I tend to specialise in kitchens, I have a different toolkit.
Right.
I'm working with different materials because I want to do that job. So firstly, I think you've got to find somebody who actually has the kinship with the kitchen industry as opposed to just being a general carpenter.
Right. Okay.
And then most of them are self-employed because they want to be. We have one self-employed and one who is employed.
Right. Okay. So you've got a mix of both.
We've got a mix.
Yeah.
Basically, the employed one became employed because we didn't want to lose him, and his then lady friend, now long married, she didn't want to be attached to a man who may be earning so much money a year. She'd rather he had a steady job.
So that could be a way to retain a kitchen fitter, is to actually put them on the books like the old days were.
I don't know whether it is now. I'd argue now it probably isn't any more expensive, because obviously if you're self-employed, you've got the costs, tax, etc., and running your own vehicle.
But you've got certainty, haven't you? If you're on the books.
Well, if you're employed, you've got work. If you haven't got work, you're off the books. It's as simple as that.
That's right,
I don't think there's an easy answer.
Okay.
But the skill levels, I think, are key.
Right.
Not just a kitchen fitter who generally speaking, is a good carpenter.
Okay.
If he chooses to specialise in kitchens, he will have to invest in himself a bit. In the sense of tools and a very often mental approach. One of the most important things people forget is a man who is a kitchen fitter has to be able to work in people's houses when they're there. It's not like what I call the building site.
You have to be an ambassador as well.
You've got to be an ambassador, not just for yourself.
That's good advice. Peter, thank you very much.
Enough.
Thank you.